Emotional intelligence. Everyone thinks emotional intelligence means being sensitive and talking about your feelings. Nope, here's the truth. Emotional intelligence is about control. It's reading a room in seconds and knowing exactly how to respond. It's watching someone's face shift and catching what they're not saying. It's feeling rage build inside you and choosing not to react yet. People with high EQ don't just feel deeply. They regulate. They sense tension between coworkers before anyone speaks. They know when their partner is upset from a single text. And when their own emotions spike, they don't explode. They pause, process, then respond. Studies show EQ predicts success better than IQ. Why? Because life is a team sport. Nobody wants to work with someone who can't read the room. Here's how you build it. Start labeling emotions precisely. Not bad or stressed, but frustrated, disappointed, anxious, overwhelmed. Specificity equals control. Practice actually listening, not planning your response while they talk, absorbing their words, their tone, their body language. And when emotions hit hard, pause before reacting. That 3-second gap between stimulus and response, that's where emotional intelligence lives. Practical intelligence. Practical intelligence is solving real-world problems that don't have textbook solutions. Street smarts, common sense, the stuff nobody teaches you explicitly but everyone expects you to know. The kid who barely graduated but built $1 million business? Practical intelligence. The grandmother who navigates bureaucracy like a chess master? Practical intelligence. The person who always knows someone who can help? Practical intelligence. This is tacit knowledge. How to negotiate a raise. When to break rules versus follow them. How to read a situation and adapt on the fly. Schools actively suppress this by pretending every problem has one right answer. Real life has infinite solutions, most of them unlisted. Here's how you build it. Get more reps in the real world. Book knowledge means nothing without application. Start businesses, negotiate deals, navigate conflicts, even if you fail. Learn from people with different life experiences. A taxi driver might teach you more about practical intelligence than a professor ever could. Pay attention to what actually works, not what should work in theory. Results over ideology. And develop a bias for action. Practical intelligence grows through doing, not thinking. When in doubt, move.
And if you want to move faster, here's a tool that helps. This video is sponsored by ChatLLM by Abacus AI. Here's the problem with AI right now. ChatGPT costs $20, Claude costs $20, Gemini costs $20. You want the best model for each task? That's $60 a month minimum, and you're constantly switching between tabs. ChatLLM fixes this. One platform, $10 a month, every major model. ChatGPT 5.2, Claude Opus 4.6, Gemini 3 Pro, Grok, DeepSeek, all of them. Their Root LLM feature automatically picks the best model for your prompt. You don't even think about it. But it's not just chat. Image generation with Nano Banana Pro and GPT 5.1 image. Video with Sora 2 and Kling 3.0. Need a presentation? It builds professional slides. Writing something that needs to pass AI detectors? Built-in humanizer. $10. Every model, one place. Visit chatllm.abacus.ai. Link in description and pinned comment. Now, speaking of skills you can actually train,
Creative intelligence. Everyone thinks creativity is something you're born with. You either have it or you don't. That's completely false. Creativity is a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained. Here's how creative brains actually work. They combine existing ideas in new ways. Every original thought is really just a remix. The more raw material you feed your brain, books, experiences, conversations, art, the more combinations it can generate. That's why the most creative people are the most curious. They consume widely and connect randomly. So how do you develop it? First, embrace boredom. Seriously, the shower, the commute, the waiting room, these empty moments are when your brain makes its wildest connections. Stop filling every second with your phone. Second, practice divergent thinking. Take any object and list 50 uses for it. Force your brain past the obvious answers into the weird ones. Third, create more than you consume. Writing, drawing, building, coding, whatever. The act of creation strengthens the creative muscle faster than passive consumption ever will. Finally, steal like an artist. Study what you admire, break it apart, understand why it works, then remix it into something yours. Logical mathematical intelligence. Logical mathematical intelligence is reasoning, calculating, thinking abstractly, recognizing patterns in logic and numbers. This is the intelligence school worships. The one we test for, rank by